Yeah, that is weird though. I don't know why it's just Procreate, or maybe specifically Procreate on a tablet. It's being weird.
Yeah, I think on my phone it's actually transparent because I remember I downloaded the file ahead of time to be like, okay, let me just double check it, which it showed as transparent. So that's why I was just like, oh, okay, we're Gucci. Try to throw it over the tablet. I'm like, oh, oh, okay, and I'm like, what's going on?
Who knows, man? Who knows? Every software is like different just enough to make things annoying, where something
Right?
that should work just doesn't work for some reason.
Yeah, I don't get it. Just if it's a PNG, it's a PNG. Just keep it simple. Like,
Just keep
come
it
on,
simple. It's
Procreate.
fucking not rocket surgery. It's transparent
Like,
PNG. Oh, hey, Captain. Early boys checking in. Proud of you.
ooh,
We love early boys here. We love all boys here.
we do.
Don't take that out of context. Adult boys. You know how it is.
Beautiful boys.
Beautiful boys.
Speaking of beautiful boys, look at your haircut, Octar. Ooh, it's so clean. Look at the lines.
It is
Ooh, I like
What
it.
lines?
You know the
You got
lines of
lines.
cleanliness?
Yeah.
That is your
Like the li-
haircut.
Like,
My hair
even
is
your
just a
beard.
line now.
Your beard's got them good lines. Good lines. Look at you. You're so cute. You're so cute.
I'm about to walk away.
We start off just by complimenting Nocturne. He's like, listen, I didn't show up for this shit.
Just gets mad and leaves. It's like,
Just-
my bad, dog.
Flick the headset off and just walk.
You just do it by like slamming your head forward. He's coming right out. It's like, damn.
I just like, goddamn pieces of shit. His family's just like, what's wrong, Nocturne? What's going on? It's like, fucking friends say nice things about me again. And I've had it. I've had it.
So help me
There was, like,
God.
a food like, what? That's what you're mad about? That's what you're upset about?
Always talking me up, making me feel good. God damn it.
Listen, we're not talking you up. We're just speaking truth.
It's
God
just
is my
facts.
witness. I will walk away.
I was like, we're not even 10 minutes in. You're right on the ship.
Listen, man, we'd hate to see you go, but we'd love to see you leave, man. Mm.
Apparently everyone else does too. I did a BMI on myself the other day, and my butt is 458% bigger than what someone my size butt should be.
That's great. I'm jealous.
It's insane.
You're thick. That's
It's
awesome.
disgusting.
I wish
love
I
it.
had a bigger butt. It's hard for my, like, all my fat goes right to my belly. Nowhere else. It's just
Dude,
belly.
I hate it because it's just I'm not, I don't look round or anything. I look shapes. That's what I look like. It's just, it's a
Shapes are
shape.
good,
It's
though.
not
You want
even
shapes.
round. It's not a triangle.
If you had a triangular butt, yeah, that might be cause for concern. He's
I
got
would
like a
like
polygonal fucking
flat one.
N64 butt.
What's funny though is like when you see me in real life. So like I said, I took a whole BMI thing like the other day. And what's funny is like when you see me in real life, and I even look at myself in the mirror. I hate what I look at in the mirror every day. But I will say, this is what I will say.
Boy.
Apparently, I'm 2 ticks away from being morbidly obese. But if you like,
in terms
but you
of what
guys have
exactly,
seen in terms of, you know, just weight and then fat to muscle ratio.
Where'd you do this
Well,
BMI on?
how-
We Fit?
Because BMI, from my understanding, is just like a simple, like, it's something like weight divided by height or something. Like, it's a really bad
Well,
measurement.
it's not. I mean, BMI is the wrong word. It's like this weird thing that like you have to take your socks off, and it like senses your thing like from your feet, and then you have like these 2 bars that you hold as well, and you have to like have your hands a certain distance, and like it just measures everything about you. And so, even like from that measurement, it's like saying like, "Hey, you're like 2 ticks away from being like morbidly obese." And in my head, like you guys have seen me in real life, like
Yeah, that's not true.
I don't look that way.
Well,
I
like,
don't
but
look
that's
like
another,
that.
like a lot of that stuff is really like strangely inaccurate too, because I know there are some
Yeah.
things that are supposed to be able to like determine. I think like water content in you, because like that can help decide, because like muscles retain water and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
if for whatever reason you're more dehydrated than normal, then it'll see like less. It'll sense less muscle mass than you actually have and assume that that extra weight is like fat and shit like that.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of weird stuff that like it depending on like specific circumstances on a lot of different variables, you'll get different readings.
It's ridiculous.
So I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock into that kind of stuff.
But what's funny is like I got new jobs, and so I had to get like drug tested and everything and have a physical. Even the doctor, just like after like they took my like weight and height and everything, they asked me out of concern. They're like, do you go to the gym? And I was like, yeah, I do. Why? It's just like, okay, well, you're not that far away from being obese. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, what is going on? The whole world. But like I talked to the doctor, but I'm like, if you look at me, like, I don't look bad. And they're like, yeah, you're just weird, and you are.
It's good when the doctor's like, yeah, you're just fucking weird.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Like, what was the clipboard away? I don't fucking know what's wrong with you.
Like, I wouldn't be happy if I was a tailor and I had to like measure you because it's a weird measurement, like. But he looked at me. He looked at me. He's like, you're not in shape, but you are shapes. And I was like, okay,
what?
Cool.
I am shapes? What does that mean? All things are shapes, fucking dumbass doctor. Hey, if it makes you feel any better, like anytime I've ever had like glasses adjusted for my face, people tell me I have an interesting shaped head.
Interesting shaped head.
Like it's apparently my head's like, I'm sure like my ears are like crooked and stuff, so it's just really bizarre trying to like shape glasses on my head. But like I always wonder too, like this was something I noticed. This is gonna be a late intro to the podcast, but that's fine. I noticed looking into a mirror, like just from my side profile, like my head kind of like goes back like a weird alien head. Like it's like long in a weird way. And I think part of that is because I was a C-section. So like part of the process of coming out of the vaginal cavity as a baby, right? Like babies kind of got like soft heads, and it kind of like shapes the head a little bit. And since that didn't happen to me, I've just got like a weird alien head instead of like a normal human head.
You have a Vegeta head.
Yeah, sort of. but it's like it's not even that. Like I'm sure like if you had my skull, it would be like it would look like the fucking like crystal skulls from Indiana Jones. It's just like it just like goes back really long, like a weird alien skull. Yeah.
Mike looks like a xenomorph with the like long
exact.
Back head.
It's like what it is, and like I don't know. It's bizarre.
Do the mouth thing. Do the mouth thing.
You just do like a little
doing
mini,
that like a hang out face.
It's a little mini mic come out of his like tongue with the glasses and hat and everything,
and with also a weirdly shaped head.
See, I was a C-section too, but now I'm like wondering about my own head.
I was as well, but I mean, I have my own problems, as you've already heard, as is, but my head's not one of them. So
yeah. Well, I've also been dropped on my head numerous times too. So I think my head's just taken a lot of damage, and it's made this weird shape. I don't know. It's honestly a miracle that like I'm not special in any way, because there was a weird thing going on with my chromosomes when I was in utero. Like the doctors were concerned about that. Then I was like dropped on a fireplace when I was a little baby. My head, actually, this wall that I'm next to, when I was wrestling with my brother as a child, my head went through this wall, and a lot of head injuries. I have a theory that like I might have been like a super genius in like another life where I didn't like constantly have head injuries, but now I'm stuck as I am. Might explain all my mental issues.
Oh my God.
It's all physical trauma.
My brother threw me.
They do that.
He's just stupid.
Like every once in a while, because he's got 10 years on me. So it's a huge like strength gap for a while there. Yeah, he would like when I was like 6 or 7, he would just no warning, I'd just be thrown. I would be on one end of the room one moment just talking, and the next moment I'd be on the other side.
God, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's what the sad thing is too, because I too went through that shit. We'd just be having a conversation. Next thing I know, I'm hurt on the floor. It's like, what happened?
Oh.
Well, speaking of brother abuse, hey everybody, the bar is open. Come get your liquor on. Anyways, I'm your bartender, Brian. If you're listening to us at home on like Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, all that good ish, thank you. Thank you so much for support. I notice you. I notice you way in the back. I see you. Don't you worry. But tonight we just got 3 boys again. Just 3 boys. Just 3. Not 4, just 3. Just hi.
3
Hi,
idiots.
boys.
It's just like two brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
No, 2 brothers.
How's it going? It's me, Mike. I am drinking a Shark Juice Hazy IPA from Two Brothers. Two Brothers Brewing. So, yeah, it's good.
Mm. I'm Akhtar, and got this little. Which
Show and tell.
I got this thing.
What's it gonna be?
Somebody gotta want it. Gotta
Why not?
want it.
What's it gonna
How
be?
bad
I'm
do you
so
want this?
excited. He's taking so much time to reach for it. It better pay off.
It better be good.
It really better be by this point.
Is that a flashlight? What is that?
Yeah, one of these. It's always about the fleshlights with you, isn't it?
Well,
Got this thing where you
oh, it's one of those ball.
Ball in a
things.
cup. It's a ball in a cup.
yeah, ball. I got a ball in a cup.
I love ball in a cup.
So
Oh, look at you.
Dude,
There
ball in a
you
cup
go.
is a good time. We should get together some night and just ball in a cup it, you know? Ooh, look at that.
Does
You got
it
a little like
flick out,
launchy
too?
thing.
yeah,
Dude, that's like a lot of technology right there.
That's a fancy
crazy.
ball in a cup.
it's got a
Yeah.
string. It's got a spring. It's got a sting.
I like the
Gotta-
Discord's trying to focus on it, but then it just
Yeah,
gets
it's just
blurry.
very blur. It makes it feel like it's a really raunchy ball in a cup that needs to be blurred out.
Yeah.
It's too hot for Twitch.
Damn straight.
Oh, TOS, buddy.
Yes, all the ladies are frothing from this badass thing that I have.
Actor just
Hey,
goes out to the club with a
Maraf
ball in a
got
cup.
nothing on you. Look at that shit.
Drives the ladies wild.
Just go into a club with this, like, hey.
Oh my god, fuck me.
The girl just looks at you. Okay. Turns around back to her friends. I understand. Don't worry about it.
That's cool.
It
So
takes one
I'll
to know one.
I'll just ball in a cup over here. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, she doesn't get it, but
She
it takes
doesn't
one to
get
know
it,
one. Oh,
I guess I'm boring and I'm just drinking RC. You know, the poor man's Coca-Cola.
Tycho. That's how
Oh.
you spell RC.
Race car.
I never
Race
fucking
car.
understood. That's such a dumb slogan. Tycho.
What?
That's how you spell RC. You guys
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Tycho. That's how you spell RC.
No, that's a word. You don't spell letters with a word. Idiot.
Selling the stupid kids. Do you think kids understood it?
Even when I was a kid, those like commercials pissed me off because I'm like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Who wrote this? I was like 5 and I was looking at the TV like, who wrote this schlock?
See, Mike's in there like, who wrote this? Meanwhile, got me. You got me, the fucking idiot.
Whatever, man. You knew what you liked. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I did. Dude, I wanted one of those Rocket Power like alarm clocks where it had like all the characters on and it did like the theme
Oh.
song. I wanted one. I saw it all the time on like those little like advertisements on like Nickelodeon where they're like, "You should buy this shit. Go get your parents to buy it for you, you little kids.
Kids, go
ahead,
steal your
get
mom's
cards."
credit card and buy 30 of these.
Funny enough, I didn't like Rocket Power when I was younger, but I watched it like a few years ago, and like as I was watching, I'm like, this show fucking rocks. Like this is a good show.
Yeah, I was very lukewarm with it. My brother loved it. I was just like, give me courage.
I mean, Uncle Tito was what like made that show. in
Oh,
my
Uncle
opinion.
Tito's
Oh,
the
dude,
best.
Tito was awesome.
He was so
Yeah.
chill. I think I just liked it because I was like obsessed with the idea of skateboarding as a kid.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I was never good at skateboarding, but I loved the idea of it. So the show seemed cool.
I was just jealous because I was like, these kids are just good at everything. They're just good at everything. Okay,
Yeah, they're just-
rollerblading, skateboarding, BMXing,
Dude, they
Yeah.
had to light up
Surfing,
scooters.
snowboarding,
Scooters?
They're the
scooters.
raddest kids ever, and like
Yeah.
the lamest kid of their group is still leagues cooler than me.
Yeah, seriously.
You talking about that blonde shit?
Yeah,
with
the blonde with the glasses. Yeah,
Yeah.
that kid's like still radder than I could ever dream to be, and I'm just like, shit, man. What hope do I have if they think he's a loser?
Oh man, oh god, it was ridiculous. And it didn't help that they had like the coolest dad on the planet, Raymundo.
Raymundo. That's right. Always wearing the fucking like. What kind of hat is that again? I guess it's like a
Fisherman's
form of
hat,
Like a
right?
fisherman's hat.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Didn't it actually have like? I think it had like bait and shit. In
Yeah, I
too,
think it
didn't
did. I think it did. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, Tito was awesome. I love it. Aloha, friends. Just straight up stereotypical Hawaiian.
It's like,
Loved it.
dude, you're in California. How'd you get here? Like what?
He
Like
swam.
straight
It's Tito. He can
Dude,
do anything.
Yeah, so
straight,
Tito could
like-
do it.
like Maui, like fucking Hawaiian.
Dude, he fucking surfed all the way here. Took all the waves.
Yeah. on a like fucking typhoon.
Can I be straightforward with you guys though? Can
Made
we
of
give
sharks.
some credit to Raymundo? Because like fucking single dad who fucking is like, hey man, I love my kids and let them do what makes them happy, and I'll fucking run this surf shop and make ends meet.
I was about to say, didn't he have a surf shop too?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he's a badass.
Good father, man. Good
Great dad, dude. Well, that was the same thing. Can we appreciate a really goofy movie for a second too? By the way, because fucking Goofy is like the same thing going on where he was just like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm a dad who lost his job and I can't like provide for my kids, so I'm gonna go to college so I can continue providing for my kid. Oh, that's a cool
Max.
cool concept for a fucking kids Disney movie. Why was this not released in theaters? This is awesome.
Dude, Goofy loved his son so much and he just wanted to be in his son's life.
Dude,
like,
that
the
was
whole
it.
time.
Of
Like,
like
that's
the core Disney characters, Goofy's the fucking best. Like he's
the raddest. Yeah,
well, he's the
Yeah.
raddest, and he's just like the most loving and kind and wonderful
and loyal.
and loyal. He's just a good dude.
He's fucking awesome.
Donald's over there selling crack.
Yeah,
you know?
well,
Goofy's
Donald,
over there loving
fuck-
his son.
Donald just murks people. Like he's in charge of a street gang.
He's
They do
the
horrible
sniper.
things.
He's the sniper of the group, you know.
Yeah.
Donald wasn't actually Darkwing Duck, right? That was like its own character, right? That wasn't Donald, right? In a minute. I can't remember DuckTales, so that's why I'm like trying to remember.
Why
Yeah,
are you trying to
I don't
remember
know.
DuckTales?
Well, because Darkwing Duck was in some DuckTale episodes, right? But I can't remember if that was actually
Wasn't
Donald
it?
or if that
I
was
thought it was its own show. Like it started as like that, but it became its own show.
I thought there were like crossover episodes.
Because like
Maybe
it
I'm
had its
remembering
own,
wrong.
it had its own intro and everything.
Oh, yeah, but then they do crossovers like every.
It probably
here
did
and there?
crossovers, but it was still its
Yeah.
own show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because they had Darkwing. Yeah, Darkwing Duck, and then the DuckTales. Yeah, I don't remember.
And then they had Tailspin.
don't know
I
what
remember
that was.
Tailspin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
now
never
I gotta look
watched a
this
lot
up.
of the Disney
Now I gotta look this
shows.
up. No, yeah, Darkwing Duck's definitely a different dude.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was actually Donald or not.
No,
Like, the
no, 'cause
last time I
he's got
watched
like big dumb cheeks.
He does have huge cheeks.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? Now I remember that. Yeah. I don't know. I never really watched a lot of the Disney Channel. Like maybe Kim Possible. I think Recess if that shit was on. I fucked with Cartoon Network. That's where I was always at.
I fucked with all of them. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah,
I liked them all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more biased towards Cartoon Network. I'll admit it. That's where I hung out the most at. I'll be honest. I don't know, man. I love Billy and Mandy, fucking Courage, Ed and Eddie, all that shit. I jerked off hard to that shit.
I didn't do that,
fucking
but
beat
yeah,
my
I liked those
goddamn
shows.
meat.
Kanger sisters, come on. The fucking what's her name? May,
Blue
the,
hair.
the emo. Yeah,
Blue
you
hair.
exactly
Blue hair.
know.
always blue hair. Well, the other ones are gross, but blue hair, like, she got something going on. Like, I don't know what it is about her.
She was ahead of her time, bro.
Yeah.
Like she was annoying, but I don't
All right,
care.
but like you know, you deal with the annoying. Like, it's fine. It's fine. You can overlook.
And she had it out for Double D, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
She knew like brains over brawn any day of the week.
Yeah.
Did you know what's her name? Marie, I think the main one, the redhead. Did you know she had 3 eyes? Apparently, it's canon.
Oh
she has
yeah,
3
I
eyes.
remember that. Yeah.
They lifted up one of the hair. I think it's during like the movie, and she actually has like a 3rd eye. I was just like, what?
Well, you know, she opened her 3rd eye.
Literally.
3rd eye blind.
TN.
Yeah. Other reference to a 3rd eye.
Yeah. Although I learned with the Edda and Eddie, not to talk about old cartoons on this podcast, but they were very inconsistent with the Kanker sisters, because originally they first moved in like, I want to say it's like the 1st season, and then in the movie apparently they lived there their whole life, so it's just like some continuity issue, but that's okay. They never knew what
didn't
to do
they
with
live
the
in a
Kanker
trailer
sisters.
though?
Yeah,
exactly.
in the trailer.
Yeah.
So
well,
did the
if you
trailer
remember
just
when they
move location slightly?
I guess, but they made it seem like they lived in Peach Creek the whole time. But in like the 1st season, they first moved in, and that's when Ed and Eddie like first came to their house. They're like, oh yeah, we should really show them, have them get to know the locals and all that shit. That's when they had like, you know, their father's like robe. I know too much about Ed and Eddie. I'm sorry, but they had, like, the robes and stuff
what I
on.
mean to say is, like, maybe they always lived in that town, but they moved to that like, or close to that specific cul-de-sac.
That's true.
Again, the one cul-de-sac they lived on, even though that's 90% of what you see in the show, that's not the entire town.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they really only showed like the cul-de-sac, the candy store, and then the last season of like the school. They really didn't show like a lot.
And
of
I
that
didn't
area.
like that at all. Like, the fun of Ed and Eddie was that, like, they were never in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, the summer stuff was the best.
Yeah.
I love that shit. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a few actual like school episodes that kind of make me chuckle, but I don't know, man. The older seasons ahead of time were the best.
You know,
just watching them do all the crazy shit.
Crazy about that show too, like you guys just said, it all really takes place in a cul-de-sac, but like it's so like it's like a bigger than life cul-de-sac. You know what I mean? Like, so much shit goes down in just that one cul-de-sac, which I think it like speaks like how you see the world at that age too. It's like so much bigger than like when you're that age, like at that like point in your life than it is any other time.
Dude, the creativity that the Eds had was like outstanding. Like, dude, they built a fucking city. Fucking, they turned Ed into like a monster. Like, dude, just the creativity is just amazing to me. And I don't know. I think they're the most interesting characters, even though all the normal kids are just like dorks. It's like, I'm sorry, actually, you guys are the dorks. These guys are actually like putting in progress over here.
Yeah,
like,
think about how like boring everything would be if the Eds didn't live there, because like they fucking did all the cool shit.
They literally like they built a whole city out of boxes. Like, come on.
Remember the episode where they had like they made like a pirate ship out of like a raft and stuff, like a fucking inner tube.
Yeah. And they gave fucking tours with that. It's just like, I wish I was hanging out with the Eds.
They sound like some really red. Like, I'd pay them $0.25 for this shit. Are you kidding me? It's a great time, and that's a fucking great deal.
The fucking shit that Eddie would sell for like 25 cents, like highway robbery. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's like, Eddie, you're actually losing in this.
Yeah, like putting in all this fucking effort to just like charge a goddamn $0.25. And it's just like, dude, guys, you need to understand your worth and the value of the product you are selling, because
right. And poor Double D's the one who does all the work, makes all the shit.
That's why I always really liked Double D, because like, even though like he wasn't just a smart one, he was also like low key kind of like the artist of the group, because he had to like design so many things just aesthetically. Double D's
What?
great. It made me wonder though, because like he's genuinely like a morally sound dude, but he keeps getting wrapped up in Eddie's BS.
All the time.
Every time.
But like honestly though, that's a lot how I felt growing up, because like I was kind of like a goody two shoes kid. Like I didn't want to like do anything bad, so I didn't. But I hung out with some friends who were just like definitely troublemakers. Like any chance they got, they were like, "We're gonna fucking raise hell." And I was just like, I'm getting wrapped up in this again. I don't know why, but I like hanging out with my friends. So
Fucking Ed spoke to me with like having gross food always in his bedroom.
yeah,
reading
you're definitely an
comics.
Ed, like 100%.
Ed spoke to me on a spiritual level.
It's kind of weird how even now I'm wearing a hat like a fucking sockhead. Like,
Oh man.
I love it, dude. Ed and Eddie was the shit. I love them. I love them
yeah.
so much.
Oh
God. As a kid, like growing up, my mom hated that show, but I like always would still watch it. And every time Beyond, she'd just come in and be like, "You're watching this show again?" I was like, "Yes, mom, it's good. It's good TV." Meanwhile, she watches me run into a door.
You know what is kind of bizarre though, and I think about this a lot. And now, granted, I don't watch cartoons anymore, really. So I don't really know what's airing, but I know but like you watch like old what I mean to say is like I don't really keep up to date with like modern cartoons. But I know for a fact that a ton of franchises that started like in the 90s or early 2000s are still like continuing in some capacity. And it's like bizarre like when you go back and think of like how many new IPs came out of like the 90s. Yep. And have just like continued to go on and like I don't feel like that's so much the case. I don't feel like there's like a ton of new like IPs that are just constantly spewing out, and even with like newer ones that do come out, they don't seem to like have the staying power that a lot of those old shows had.
Yeah, because I feel like if we're talking like those newer IPs, I think Adventure Time was kind of, or maybe even Steven Universe, maybe been like the last two that, but that's not even from our generation though.
I mean, we were still in high school at the time. I still watched like shit like Chowder, Flapjack. I watched all that shit.
Yeah,
that's in high school.
Yeah,
that stuff was great, but it's just bizarre. Because like, but again, most of the ones you're naming, like, unless I'm mistaken or they come back, like those have ended. Like they've all ended.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's what I mean. Like, meanwhile, like SpongeBob's still going on in a different capacity. You got fucking Rugrats is back now. Like so many of that stuff, like it's either never stopped or it's come back.
Well, isn't the Powerpuff Girls, aren't they back? Powerpuff Girls?
They're always around in some capacity, but it's weird because like there was a Powerpuff Girls anime at some point, and I don't know.
Oh my god, there was.
Yeah.
Holy crap, I forgot about that.
Samurai Jack came back, you know, for the finisher.
That was cool though, and they like kind of made it.
I think we were still in high school at the time too for that as well. Actually,
I think it was college when that
was it college.
I think it was more college. Yeah, because I remember people at Tribeca talking about that. Yeah. Because
I don't know. It's just a weird thing I think about is just like how many, because that was the 90s in general is just so many new fucking cartoons just coming out of like it was like an explosion of them.
Yeah, you had Kids Next Door, Billy and Mandy, Time Patrol, fucking Teen Titans. Yeah, you had a lot of IPs.
But that's not even the crazy part.
Yeah,
but I think that was cool though about especially Cartoon Network is that was a big like concept on the channel at the time was just like having a platform for a bunch of like pilots to be shown, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember the pilot of Billy and Mandy with like the hamster dying or whatever. I remember the pilot to Kids Next Door with like the
when they go out to the Arctic with the turtle man.
Oh yeah, that dude. Yeah. Even like Family Guy started as something else, but that had a pilot that showed on Cartoon Network. And like
it was a cartoon.
The person who turned into Peter was like an old dude originally, and Brian the dog was actually a different dog and stuff like that. But like there were a ton of pilots that just got shown, and a ton of them were picked up into full shows. It's cool. I feel like you don't see a lot of that anymore.
Yeah, because Powerpuff Girl, they had the one when they fought that big like pink guy who turned like bubbles into like pieces of meat. Kids Next Door had the turtle guy who talked like this with his tongue all the time. I remember that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, I didn't. You see, I didn't realize that until you showed me the Family Guy one, and I'm just like, oh my God, that's Seth MacFarlane. Like, I never realized it.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane, like he used to be a writer in shows like Johnny Bravo and stuff like that.
Yep.
Oh my God, yeah, he did.
But I don't know.
Wow.
Like I know it's hard to say for sure because I'm not watching, the cartoons the kids are watching these days, and I don't really have my finger on that pulse so much anymore. But it does seem like whenever I hear about like, oh, a new animated show is coming out, it's a new version of an old property in some way. I feel like you don't see a lot of like brand new properties coming up anymore.
I remember I lost my shit. I think I was talking to you, Mike, when I heard that they were trying to bring back Courage. I'm like, no, you leave Courage alone. That is my
They did for a while.
favorite.
I think they actually did for a while. It was like in like a 3D animation and everything like that.
I don't know about that, but they tried to do like a really cheap looking kind of 2D.
Yeah,
and
you
just
showed
looked
me
awful,
a
and it-
really like the designs for the characters were really weird. I was
it
not into
looked
them.
so bad. Luckily, it didn't get greenlit because I guess like a bunch of people like made like a big deal about it, and they just said, "All right, fuck it, we won't touch Courage." It's like, yes, don't touch Courage. Like, Courage is my favorite cartoon. I'll be honest. Courage is my number one. I want a tattoo that says "The things I do for love." I want that. I want that so bad. But it like I don't know, man. Like Courage had a good mixture of creepy with like the cartoon aesthetic. Like when it had the 2D drawings with the creepy like 3D animations. Like it just, I don't know. Like it just, I feel like that show just needs to stay how it is, and I
Yeah.
just feel like trying to redo that, I don't think it will
Well,
come out the same.
Yeah, I don't think there's
I hope
honestly
they touch
much.
the shit out of Courage.
I'm coming for you, Adam.
In truth,
Yeah.
though, I don't think there's much of a place for the kind of show like Courage was anymore because
Yeah.
like it didn't have like a plot through line really in any way. It was just kind of like random shit keeps happening to this one little house in the middle of nowhere. And I swear to God, like especially rewatching the King Ramsay's like slab episode, like I swear to God, the writers' room for that show was like, what's a weird idea? What's like a fucking like song we can come up with? Okay, we got this stuff. Now let's write an episode around this shit we have. Like somebody was just messing around like King Ramses. We're like, we're using that in the show. We're using it. I don't care. All right, fucking there's a slab with plagues. We'll figure it out.
Ship it. Fucking
go with
ship it.
Like there's a show where I just felt like they didn't say no to any idea. They were just like, great, yes, fucking robot from a different planet that carves wooden reindeer. Yes.
I love how you actually explained that one, Mikey. They're like, they just drew random shit out of a hat.
Yeah, they really did. It's like, what does this robot sound like? He sounds like Christopher Walken, of course, because like, why not? Like, so there's someone in our office who can do a really good Christopher Walken impression. We'll just have that be the voice of the robot. Like that's as far as the thought went.
I was amazed because when we rewatched that episode, Octor, didn't you not remember that episode?
That's the first time I've ever watched that episode.
That is so
That's
crazy
crazy because they played
that's-
that one all the time.
Yeah, that one was always running. I love that one. I don't want to destroy things.
You know
I
what
just wanna
episode
make
I really
right
remember
here.
liking a lot, and I don't know why, but the hamburger one. Do you remember that?
Yeah, when they made the head hamburgers.
Yeah, the head hamburger. Yeah, it was messed up.
What was it called? The head of meat, I think it was called.
Something like that.
Yeah, that one was so good. Where like the prime. I don't know. Fuck it. We're gonna talk about Cartoon Network. I don't give a fuck. I love.
Yeah,
that
it's a
channel.
cartoon podcast. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. But like the premise for that episode is so good because like the butcher was like this pig and his wife loved making head of meat, so like she would like want people to model, but the whole time like they made it look like that people's heads are getting chopped off and shit like that. Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
Well, I just liked that like it took place in like a different area because like I always really appreciated the Courage episodes that like take place outside of like their home.
Yeah.
Because it was just fun to see like little glimpses of like the rest of this strange world.
Oh my god, yeah. Did you see the one with the creepy house that was like it was like alive and music drawed it to like Courage's house. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Where it was like kind of like a creepy Tim Burton dude that like lived in there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, they had some even like the one I showed you, which I don't think you remember that one, but the city one, remember with Bunny?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that one before, but that was an interesting episode.
Courage. Oh god, I'm sorry. I can talk fucking hours about Courage.
Yeah,
I love
I don't
that
know.
show.
That show went places, and like everyone remembers the fucking creepy barber.
Fred,
Naughty.
Oh, Courage, how lovely and plump you are, but I'm feeling quite naughty.
It's like, who comes up with this shit? It's just, my God.
God, if I can get a little Courage plushie, I'll be set. I'm gonna name my next dog Courage, and I hope it's a coward.
Honestly, though, but that's kind of something I miss, though, is like raw creativity that like a lot of showrunners had to do, considering they were like, because of standards for TV at the time, and really now too, like they had to find like interesting things to still make things creepy or bizarre, because that's something they talk about, the writers talked about in like Batman the Animated Series, is their Joker couldn't kill. He wasn't allowed to kill.
That's right.
So that's why they came up with like the Joker toxin to give him the creepy smiles and shit. And like in a way, that's even more terrifying, you know?
Yep.
And it's just like, you think of something like the barber episode from Courage, where it's like all he's doing is shaving this dog, but he does it in such a horrifying manner that like it's more unsettling than if he was like actually killing people like fucking Sweeney Todd style. Like I don't know what it is about it, but that stuff is really cool. I like when creators have to just come with out of the box ideas in order to get past censors and stuff.
Dude, that moment where like Courage got all shaved and all he has left is his tail, and he's like literally Panikin's last bit of hair. Like, as a kid, I was scared for Courage. I'm like, oh my god, that's his last hair. Oh my god, no, don't do it. Like, yeah, that's just creative, especially if you can make that part suspenseful.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always impressed by writers who can take like simple plots or like simple things and just like not necessarily exaggerate it, but like make it entertaining.
But see,
that's
why
I think it's like, because sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that's why I always take issue with people who say that like there can only ever be stakes in a show like through like death or whatever, like a character dying, when it's like, no, not at all. Like like you're talking about, you cared so much about Courage losing his last bit of hair because you saw that Courage cared about it. Like you can write stakes in other ways. Like just changing the status quo enough is enough for there to be actual like stakes that the audience cares about. It doesn't have to be like, oh, will this character die or not? That doesn't matter. You know, like there are tons of shows where like death is not of consequence, but that doesn't mean there aren't stakes, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It just,
I was gonna say, like,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I guess, like, because the death part or the killing part, that's like the climax, actually, right? So everything leading up to that death is what makes that death matter.
Yeah.
So, like you were saying, it's like, well, you can make anything really matter then at that point, as long as you have the lead up, as long as you have that, you know, connective tissue that makes those stakes actually feel like they're legitimate stakes. Like, like with the barber dude, like, he was creepy, dude, and he had one thing on his mind, and it was cutting people's hair, and the way it was portrayed
only
was
spoken rhyme.
Only spoken rhyme. Yeah, the haiku talking motherfucker. But it's just the character himself that made it so creepy. So at that point, it's like you get that feeling, and you're like, no, don't cut my hair. You, I ain't cut my hair.
Dude, but like that's the thing. Like in that moment, like Courage had legit actual fear, and as a kid, I'm feeling that fear too. Like,
yeah, well, because you're invested in the character, because like they do a good job of portraying Courage and letting you, the audience, into like his feelings and thoughts. You know, it's easy to get wrapped up in that. But you know, it's the same reason. Like, you know, it's easy to take You could say the same thing about like, you know, Dragon Ball. It's like, well, death's no consequence because you can just wish people back. But it's like, yeah, but that's not the point. Whether a character's wished back or not doesn't matter. I mean, there's a heaven in Dragon Ball. There could still be scene of dead character hanging around in heaven. It's not the death that matters. It's how it changes the status quo and the other characters surrounding it. You know, people always say like, oh, Vegeta's character arc is so amazing. It's like, yeah, well, if death was a consequence, Vegeta wouldn't have made it past the Namek arc. But thank God he did, because look how much he changed. You know, so it's like,
yeah.
It's not always about characters dying, like, and even Game of Thrones fans, and I loved Game of Thrones for the first 4 seasons, but those people really bug me too. It's just like, oh, it's just great because everybody dies, you just don't know who's gonna die or not. It's like you're not looking at this the right way. It's not the point about the death. It's everything leading up to it and what the death signifies for the other characters. Like, it's not just a like, oh, anybody could die. It's like, no, not anybody could die. I mean, fucking. That's not why it matters. Even George R.R. Martin said about it too, where it's just like, it's not the death that's the shocking part. Like, otherwise people would have been fucking like destroyed in A New Hope when Darth Vader destroyed Alderaan with the Death Star. But it's like, you don't know any of those people on Alderaan. You don't give a fuck. Billions of people just died and you do not give a shit. But meanwhile, a character you're invested in doesn't even have to die. Something bad could happen to them and now you're emotionally invested. It's impactful.
That's why, like, and not to like switch gears, but that's why I like I guess Trey Parker and Matt Stone, you know, South Park, like how their writing process is, because they kind of go off the Pixar way, where it's just like, take a simple idea and how can we exaggerate that? How can we build off that idea? How can we make that idea good instead of like trying to put all these complicated plots in there and make it all somehow seem together? Just start simple and just go from there. And that's what, to me, I like that kind of writing. I mean, call it simple writing or whatever you want. I don't know. To me, I just think that's more creative, because now you're trying to think of how to take something, you know, so small, and then how do we make it this big piece? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but you have to. The audience has to be along for the journey. Because, like, Brian, you and me have talked about this so many times, because we talk about writing all the time. But if you come out the gate with too much shit, too much like complex plot lines and all these characters, all stuff going on, it's like you've lost your audience immediately, because they don't care. They've had no time to get attached to any of this stuff. It's just information coming at them. But if you can start small with just, you know, small group characters, just like a simple plot, and then like have it expand later on, then like your audience is into it. Like, they're there for the journey. They get to see things get more complex and, you know, change. And that's the fun part of the show, or any kind of like movie or story.
I was about to say a bad example of that, a very bad example of that, is Metal Gear Solid, where the first game was very simple, straightforward, and very well done. And then the second game did not give a fuck about any of that, but you're in it because you've already invested all this time before in the previous game. So now you're in for this mind fuck of an idea. Like, and that does.
But they brought it back with like, 3 though.
But like, well, three was at a different time too, and they figured it out. He figured out what he had to do to bring the audience back. But that was why there was so much backlash about the second game at first. Now people like it because we had, you know, almost 2.5 decades to fucking sit there and like let it stew.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that first like 1.5, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, everyone's like, the fuck is this shit?
Well, yeah, but it's the same reason why like Kingdom Hearts gets so much flack, is like, truth be told, the story of Kingdom Hearts really is not all that complicated. It just seems complicated because they keep throwing shit at you.
More shit.
Just so much shit. And it gets to the point where you're like, it's just hard to keep track of everything. That's the issue. It's overload.
And by the time you get to the third game, you're like, I don't even care.
Yeah. Well, and you're seeing all this shit that you don't have context for because you missed the fucking mobile game that was Japan only or whatever. Just like little tiny details, and it's like, that is not. I'm sorry. That is not how you tell a good story. If vital information is in little side shit, then you're telling your story wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
If I have to, and like, if I also have to have a PS2, a PSP, a DS, a 3DS, as well as maybe a PS4, or as well as a PS4,
Get that
sorry.
PSP.
Like, I don't want to know about your story. You're making me jump through too many hoops, as is with just like the money that you're making me invest. And then I also have to play a card game to understand, like, because I also need a Game Boy SP. Get out of here! Shut up! I don't want your face anymore.
Listen, I'm one of those weird people that like Chain of Memories.
I love Chain of Memories. One of my favorite Kingdom Hearts games. It doesn't help the fact, though, that you still had to go out, buy a separate system, and get a separate game in order to figure out what is happening in the second game.
Yeah.
Because everyone says, oh, yeah, the intro pretty much explains it. I was like, yeah, but you don't get it. You don't get what the... it just shows you scenes with music.
You're missing so much context there. So it's like, even if they tell you stuff, it's like, it's not really enough.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. Like, if you're one of those players who just came from Kingdom Hearts 1 straight to 2, they show you the scenes of, like, Chain of Memories, but you're like, I don't know who the fuck this pink-haired bastard is. You're not going to know who Marluxia is. You're not going to understand how the organization and how some members have died. You're not going to
There's no connective tissue. There's no connective tissue.
Yeah.
No,
they're just showing you scenes.
But that was me. That was me, because I didn't play Chain of Memories. Like, I watched my friend play pretty much all of the first game, and then I got the second game myself, and I had no idea why fucking Sora was in a pod. Like, I'm just sitting here, I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like, I have no idea what's going on.
Mike's like, who the fuck is this blotchet Naminé? Who are you?
It was just like, it felt like a completely different game suddenly, where I'm just like, is this just like a fucking weird reboot? Because it doesn't even feel like a sequel.
That's just the first part, and then they make it an even bigger mess as it just goes on. Like, you have to I didn't know I also had to play Monster Hunter United to fucking understand what's going on in Kingdom Hearts. Jesus. Like...
I'll be honest. I'm a person that likes Kingdom Hearts, but hold on, before like people start coming at me with like the gallows. When I talk Kingdom Hearts, I like the first one. I know, I get it. It is so clunky. I know it's clunky.
It's a pretty good game.
But that's the thing. For me, it's because I spent so much
with like shortcuts and everything.
Like, I just spent so much time in the first one, so that's why for me, I really like the first one because I played it over and over and over and over. And like, and I will admit, 2 has better combat, has way better. I guess you can argue story because that's where you get the organization. Second part of the
I don't think 2 has more story. I don't think it has better
2's where it starts the complicated plot. Like, it's just... I don't know, man. Number 1 had for me, it had the plot right. It's this kid who got a key. Donald and Goofy are trying to find the king, and they realize that they need Sora because he has the key. Bam! That is your plot. That is all you got to know, and you're playing Kingdom Hearts.
It does it really well too, because you start off on this island with your 2 friends. One's a potential romantic interest. The other is like an older brother type character. And then later on, that older brother type character starts. It seems like they're going towards the dark side, and you're like, oh fuck! Like, that's my childhood friend. Like, no, the first game story wise is. It's great. It's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's simple, but it's effective. At least it's really good. Yeah. I've got no issues with the story of the first game. It's pretty much everything after that I have issues.
Yeah, basically everything after that is where they found out about the success of the first game, and they're like, let's milk this shit.
Yeah, literally. I mean, the only one that I would, in my personal opinion, argue that this is personal opinion. Please, no gallows, anyone. I would say probably for me would be Birth by Sleep, but I'm talking Aqua's story though, just purely Aqua. Maybe Ventus, Terra, sure. I don't know if you like that edginess. To me, that shit got old way too fast.
Yeah,
but for me, Aqua's story, I found Aqua's story probably the most interesting.
Yeah, I never played Aqua's story. But even just like well, I don't know. It's hard because like all that shit. It's just Revenge of the Sith. Like, that game is just Star Wars. So I can't even give it props for its story because it's just Star Wars.
It basically is. It literally,
So. I don't know. I mean, like, it doesn't help that like the story of that game is just Star Wars. The worlds in Kingdom Hearts have always been shitty and empty. There is no game that's more empty than fucking that game. There's nothing there, to the point where it's a joke. Where like you're in a ballroom and they're like, look at all the people dancing. Like there's literally no one in that ballroom.
Mike, if I can, I want you to play just for a little bit. I want you to just play a little bit of the PSP version.
Don't fall for it, Mikey. Don't fall for it.
No. I'm just saying, like, if you didn't like how empty it was when they kind of like tried to report it, wow, yeah, it's a lot more rough in the PSP.
And also, opinion. Like the even the gameplay, I don't think was all that good because it's like it's a weird mix of like, oh, it's the Kingdom Hearts combat, but also we've got cards in it too, and it's like, just pick one or the other. Like, what are we doing?
Ultimates that had a pop. That every once in a while.
So I don't know. I understand why people like Birth by Sleep. I don't think it's as good as people think it is.
No.
When people talk about Birth by Sleep, they always will talk about the arenas. Which, by the way, spoiler alert, you can't even fucking play those arena fights anymore. Which I'll admit, that was probably in my thing. That's why I loved Birth by Sleep, was because you can pick your character, kind of build them how you want, and just fucking duke it against other Keyblade people. Like, that shit was crazy.
I remember the epic adventure that me and Mikey had with Dream Drop Distance. I remember that.
God,
it was no more. That whole adventure was no more than 10 minutes, and Mikey's like, "Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm fucking done."
It's just like that game.
It's just fucking. Here's a new mechanic. 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 I'm like, fuck this goddamn game. No thank you. No thank you. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm not playing this shit. Like oh god, that was horrible.
That was awful.
I stupidly bought that game day one, and I bought the fucking circle pad that you had to get it to. You didn't have to get it, but it made it easier to play.
Good luck playing without it.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, that was so aggravating. Oh my god. But I remember, I don't know, like, it started cool with, like, the Ursula fight in the beginning, because I guess it was reminiscent, but I don't know, it just, to me, it became too tedious, especially with the fucking, with the Dream Eaters. Like, it just turned into Pokemon. It turned into Pokemon after a while, and I'm just I think I'm playing
it was when they introduced that I think is when I finally gave up, because it was just like, because I could get on board with, like, the weird, like, free flow running around shit. It controls kind of weird, but I could get on board with it. But like they just kept introducing all this shit, and it's like, oh, now the game decides it's Pokemon. Like, no, shut up. Just shut up.
Do you know what I hate? That game alone, Mike, is the most important. Well, one of the most important parts of the story. It is, and that's a shitty part because it's.
I disagree
because it makes me mad.
I disagree though because like I don't like it.
Of young Zemnis. Yeah, I mean, no, young Xehanort. I'm sorry.
I don't know who he is.
It deals with his whole research, bro. It just, I hate it because that game alone actually had very important plot, and it's. Sorry, I don't mean to talk about Kingdom Hearts, but it's just like, what a bad game to give them like one of like the ones that actually like kind of clear up a lot of plot holes to give it really shitty mechanics. Personal opinion, though. Personal opinion. I don't know. I think, fuck, man, the mobile game I had more fun with. And it was a mobile game.
It was a mobile game, god damn it.
I played them all.
A .iOS file.
I played Kingdom Hearts 3. We were the most shocked. And Mike's like, you guys are all shocked by this? I'm like, yeah.
Well, and that's ultimately when it comes out. Like, listen. I'm talking a lot of shit right now. I'm not gonna, people, like what you like. Whatever. If you love Kingdom Hearts, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that like a lot of my friends played Kingdom Hearts 3 because like I bought a PS4 kind of late in the game, and I bought like the big collection with all the Kingdom Hearts games.
You got that on a good price, didn't you?
It was
$100. It
was $100, but it came with all the games plus 3 when that came out. And 3 alone is $60 brand.
Sale.
Yeah, 3 alone is 60. Yep.
So,
because I got that, I have that exact thing too.
Yeah.
There you go.
But whatever. So I had played through 1, replayed 2. I played a campaign and a half of Birth by Sleep. I played some of Rechain of Memories. I was trying to play as many of the games as I could before 3. And 3 came out, and I played it, and I beat it. And so many of my friends around me were just like, oh my God, that was bad. What happened to Kingdom Hearts? They killed it. And I'm just sitting there like, I finished 3 and I was like, that was pretty par for the course. And everyone else was shocked. They're like, what happened to Kingdom Hearts? And I'm like, bro, what happened to you? You grew up. Kingdom Hearts stayed the same. You grew up. Like, this is what Kingdom Hearts is.
The funny part was, I remember, like, I called up Mikey too when it came out because, like I said, I got the same thing. I was playing it. I played a little bit of it, and I was like, Mikey, the game is beautiful. Gameplay is obviously what the first, 2 games that were the mainline titles
the whole time,
and basically, yeah, it was same thing. And I was like, it's beautiful. You're the fighting, like, cinematics are all cool and stuff. Hey, you know what the fuck is going on? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening anymore, really.
You see, you should have called me and Mo. We would have given you the whole fucking synopsis, double spaced everything.
Well, again, like, but I'll be honest. Like, I feel like I played 3 with a pretty good understanding of what was going on. Again, having like, played so many of the games and like looking up a lot of the like background information. Octar, didn't you and I watch that like movie that was supposed to be like the kind of explanation of like the mobile game and stuff?
Oh, the X-Cross.
Still didn't understand what that was either.
Yeah,
like, that
again,
was summarizing the game of the mobile. That's all it was.
I myself feel like I understood what was happening. It's just that it wasn't good or interesting. It was just like a lot of things.
The whole time I was watching that with you, Mikey, I thought it was a fan-made parody. I swear to God.
Well, the Master
like
of Masters doesn't
release.
help because he's just a shitlord who memes all the time. Like, and you're just like, is this character for real? Like, what's the deal with this guy?
Oh, the Master of Masters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah. Mom.
It legit felt like I was watching a fan-made parody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I'm talking about it just from, like, animation standpoint, I think the animation looked pretty solid for that. The back X cross, like X, because it's just summarizing the whole mobile game of what everyone went through and all the bullshit, understanding all the masters and who the traitor was and all that. But like,
I still don't know who the traitor was, by the way. And the Master of Masters is all like, "Oh, I know who the traitor is, but I'm not going to tell you." And I'm like, "You fucking suck." Like,
but that's Kingdom Hearts, man. Some character knows everything that's going on. They're like, "You'll figure it out, though," and you never figure it out.
You figure it out.
And then they fucking made the stupid they made the stupid cliffhanger of, oh, who's fucking what's his name, Lux, or I can't remember his name. Who's the Master of Masters little, what's it, sorry?
Isn't it something like Luxu, like Lucius,
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it is Luciu. Remember, because Mikey, Luciu. you gave me I got a what
Luxus?
Was it? I was getting shit.
Mushu?
You were saying like this word, or like, remember when we were hanging out in the basement with Brian that one time? At like when he had just came back from California.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, what I remember I was like, Octar, right? Just like, you with me, Octar? You with me? And you're like, yeah. I was like, all right, Octar. So Brag, Zigbar, Luciu.
Yep.
And you're like, what is that? No, Octar, you don't get it. Brag, Zigbar, Luciu.
It's so
I like grabbed Mikey by the face, and I was like, he was literally an inch away from him. Like, you are giving me psychosis right now. What are you talking about?
Octar, you're not listening.
I thought
I was in an acid trip when that was happening. Like,
the sad part is he was right though, because they okay.
What is he right about? He said 3 names.
Brag is a dude who had of his nobody is Zigbar, and it turns out Zigbar is Luciu.
Yeah, and
he hasn't gone by that name in a long time.
Yes! Oh, dude, I almost threw my fucking controller at my TV. I was so angry. They set up this long, like huge cliffhanger of who the fuck is Lux? Who is this character? Who is this mystery character of the fucking Master of Masters like apprentice? Who is this? And you fucking see the most shittiest fucking organization member fucking come out of nowhere in the desert like Lux, haven't had that name in a long time. I go by Zigbar now. And they show his face, and I'm like, that's who this great character
Yeah,
is
dude.
supposed to
Yeah,
be.
dude. You didn't know? You didn't know it was fucking Zigbar, dude? What are you stupid? I think you might be stupid if you didn't know it was Zigbar.
Oh my god, I was so irritated. And then in that moment, in the same breath after I found that out, Mo's like, oh hey dude, they're coming out with DLC. I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore with Kingdom Hearts.
I don't give a shit. By the way, real quick, I just gotta say, Captain says the Kingdom Hearts series is like Shenmue, but the gameplay is actually decent. That's fair. A series that will never actually end because there is no plan. That's it's exactly what it is. Because that's a series that like they had the plan for the first game, right? Like they had a story planned out, and then that was hugely successful. So it's not like, okay, now let's go crazy with this and pretend it was always the plan, but it was never the plan because there is no plan.
Dude, they were improvising the whole time.
Yeah,
they actually came out with a Shenmue for on PS4, I think too, like a Shenmue 3.
Yeah,
and that did amazingly awful.
No, I'm upset because they gave Shenmue 3 away for free on the Epic Store, but I missed it because it was during the like Christmas thing where they have like a free game a day, and I missed the day when they had Shenmue 3, and it's like that would have made fun content, I think, but oh well.
Yeah. The Shenmue games.
Because like I don't want to buy Shenmue 3, but I'll play it if I get it for free.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I mean, fuck, man. What was Shenmue 1 and 2? Those were Dreamcast, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, Shenmue 1 definitely was. I never played Shenmue 2. I don't know a damn thing about it, but
yeah, I only knew what I knew from like, I don't know, shit I've seen. I'd never played the Shenmues. I only seen what I've seen on the internet.
I played like the beginning of Shenmue 1, and like it's bad in the most charming way. I don't know how to describe it. Like it's not good, but I don't know.
People love it though. There's a huge following for it.
It feels like a really good like kung fu B movie with like horrible like dubbing, but there's something like weirdly nostalgic about it. And it's got like the like Yakuza vibe of like, yeah, there's a plot I need to do, but also I can just go to this arcade and fuck around for a while.
Yeah.
You said Yakuza?
Yeah.
Did you say Yakuza?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I honestly I don't have any way to back this up, but part of me feels like Yakuza. I feel like Shenmue crawled so that Yakuza could run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it because the first Yakuza was PS1, and it wasn't until it had to be Yakuza came out before then. Shenmue, because Dreamcast was the era of what, GameCube?
No,
original Xbox.
No,
was it PS2?
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast was like during like PS1 days, dude.
Was it?
Yeah. And also, Yakuza
like
is a Sega game, so it had to have come out on Dreamcast or a Sega system if you're talking about the first game.
Oh, now I gotta look this up.
Well, I want to say because Yakuza, I think the first Yakuza was PS1.
It's a Sega game. It's made by
Jesus. Here, let me see. Yakuza 2.
Yakuza was PlayStation 2. The first game was released in 2005.
Was it PS2?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Shenmue came out way before Yakuza.
Yeah.
Okay, then there you go.
So yeah, okay, I was right because I was like, no way, Shenmue's definitely older than Yakuza.
Okay, then my bad, I've got it flipped. Okay.
Yeah.
Then
Shenmue came out in 1999.
Then I guess you were right.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I'm right.
Okay.
I'm always right. Just trust me.
You're usually talking out of your ass, Brian. We know Mikey's right.
I'm legitimately trying to. I'm sorry.
Sitting here talking out of your ass.
Yeah, eat my ass.
Oh yeah. If I eat it, I'll be eating words because that's where you talk.
Octar's just mad at me.
Oh my god. Murdered. You murdered him.
Octar's just mad at me because I was sending him Fyre Instagram videos and he just wasn't looking at them. He's just mad at me.
Some of us have to like work, so.
Yo, whatever, you like them. Some of them were good. I was sending you some good ones.
Which ones did you send me? Let me see.
I was sending you good ones. Don't look at them now because some of them are like explicit and use certain words that are not TOS. So don't listen to them right now.
Jeez, Brian.
How I would react to getting robbed. It's okay, man. Take your time.
No, just that one's a funny one. It's kind of
That's
you
Banner,
watch this
bro.
man like try to fumble, get these this nightstick out, but it just isn't. It's funny.
What's
It's
your
funny.
most viral TikTok video in 2021?
When did I send you that?
Today at 4:37 p.m.
I'm not about to look at my Instagram. I'm not in the middle of a podcast.
Wondering
I was
why
sending you
my
good ones.
dad left?
That was actually a funny one. That one is not appropriate, but it's kind of funny.
Play it.
Mike, I'll send it to you too. That one was actually pretty good. Oh yeah, all I gotta say is they found the milk. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, everyone, if you enjoyed this episode of Firebar,
Listen, I like really weird humor. I'm sorry. But Captain says, shame on them. He's talking about Shenmue. Shame on them for having the game funded by Sony, then doing Kickstarter. Did they
Oh,
really
for Shenmue
Kickstart
3?
that one?
Yeah, that's right. I did hear about that.
Wow. I didn't know
But
that.
the Shenmue thing was weird because like the creator had like an idea for that to be like a fucking like 6-game series or something.
Whoa.
But then like
Okay.
only the first 2 ever came out, and then yeah, there was a whole weird thing with the 3rd game where they did a Kickstarter for it, but yeah, I guess it was funded by Sony. I don't know. It was really weird.
Who's the director? Captain, if you know, type who the director is for those games. I'm actually kind of curious.
Brian, you have a phone. You have a tablet.
Okay.
You have an internet.
I know, you're right. I'll
Yu
do it.
Suzuki.
Huh?
Yu Suzuki is the designer or a designer.
I don't know if I know who that is.
Apparently,
Yeah, I
Yu
don't know who that
Suzuki
is.
and Yoichi Takahashi are the designers for Shenmue. Yu Shenzui.
Hmm.
Huh. Okay, yeah, I don't know who those are.
Of course you don't. You want cultured
Yeah.
swine.
Why? Yeah.
I mean, I do know that the original director for all the Yakuzas, he left Sega. He's no longer working on the Yakuzas. He wants to pursue other things, which I respect it. It's okay. I don't like it.
I don't like
respect
it.
it.
I'm mad about it. I'm gonna shoot somebody.
Well, it's just he I don't know. He brought a good. It's like I don't know. It's my personal opinion. It's like taking Kara Toriyama out of DBZ and you get GT. I'm not saying that the Yakuza series is gonna go to shit later. I'm not saying that, but it's just I don't know, man. Like there's certain things where I feel like if you take certain creators out, you kind of lose some of the charm of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I
I
get
don't know
it.
what you're talking about. Dragon Ball GT was awesome when I was like a kid and watching it at the time, and that was all that was left in my
Bro,
life.
I
GT
remember bits and
is
parts of that.
GT is a lot of genuinely cool concepts, just done
awfully.
very poorly.
Yeah.
Very poorly.
I remember liking the baby stuff. That was kind of cool.
Again,
That's when
like
it
the
actually
idea of
started
like
getting good.
the like tuffles and stuff like that. I get a lot of
Yeah.
genuinely cool concepts that like are in line with Dragon Ball lore, but just not executed right.
No.
That's so sad.
It makes me
wasn't it-
wonder. What's up?
No, I was gonna say because wasn't it just that was just pure Toei, right? Toei just kind of saying "fuck it, we're doing it."
Yeah, I think Toriyama helped with character designs, but he didn't help with
Yeah.
story at all.
I was gonna say, like, it is funny that, like, I mean, I guess because of Super GT there's no way it can be canon anymore. Like there's no way because
Yeah.
it's just the power gap is too goddamn ridiculous of what's happening in Super versus what's happening in GT. Number 1. Number 2, what makes all of Super still absolutely hilariously ridiculous is that Goku still hasn't met Oob. So the martial arts tournament still hasn't happened.
Yeah,
So
I know.
the power gap of Goku when you see him in that martial arts tournament is like he is a walking, talking. He's a god.
It's weird. It's weird watching that part of Z now, knowing that like, oh, Goku could go Ultra Instinct. Like, fucking the Oob's not even like trained yet, but even if he was full Kid Buu tier, he would still be nothing compared to what Goku is now. So it's just like,
Yeah.
So what is happening? Oh
yeah, it's weird.
so
It's
funny.
weird. Supposedly,
Hey.
like the new Super movie is like the closest to End of Z that like we've gotten because like Pan's like a toddler and stuff.
Yeah, I saw some bits and pieces of that.
So how Super is, it's like Z Super, then part of Z at the end, then, right?
Yeah,
Is that
because
how that
the
kinda
end of
works?
Z is after a 10-year time skip, and Super takes place within that 10 years.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So you're telling me Goku Black and Alt? Wow.
Yeah, so
okay.
now you go back, you watch the end of Z, and you think of like all the shit that happened in Super, and you're like, why does any of this matter right now? Why does he care about
Yeah.
Noob? Like,
Yeah.
not trying to be
Yeah,
mean here. Well,
Ooh.
no, I don't want to spoil anything, but actually, they did a cool thing in the manga, in one of the manga arcs that like actually uses Oob a little bit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am
That's
serious. It's actually kind of neat.
I love Oob. Oh, that makes me so happy. Okay, cool. I'm so glad my boy's coming. I love Oob.
And then doesn't in GT Oob fuses with Boo become Ubu, right?
I think Majub is what they called him. It's a
Majub,
dumb name,
yeah.
no matter what. But
Majub.
yeah, it's Majub.
Oh, dude.
And then
What's up?
well, it's just let's just say GT is canon after that final episode of Z real quick, right? Can we just for like a second,
Sure.
please?
Yeah, let's go down this path. Sure.
Let's just go down this path
All right.
real quick.
All right, I'm down.
Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta and then Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Like that power gap, because I'm just gonna say it, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta would actually power level wise wipe the floor with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Super Saiyan, it's like no contest
Well, 4
between
is
the two.
what? It's the grade 8 mixed
It's
with
just-
Super Saiyan, right?
And you just basically condensed yourself. Like you've taken control of the Uzaru form, and that's what
Yeah,
unlocks your Super Saiyan.
I've
4.
never.
Yeah.
Listen. I've never been somebody who gets too concerned with power levels or with multipliers because it's all. None of it.
It's all
really
It
matters.
doesn't matter.
It's just there to serve a story, so it doesn't really matter. But if you really wanted to get into it, the Uzaru is supposed to be a 10 times multiplier, like of like a base form, right? So if you're a Saiyan and you go Uzaru, you're 10 times stronger. Super Saiyan is a 50 times multiplier.
50 times.
So
Yep.
Super Saiyan 4 would be a 500 times multiplier on
Yep.
the base strength.
And that's it, though. But that's it.
But
Like,
that's it. Yeah.
I think Super Saiyan Blue goes.
Well,
and
we have
especially a
no
Fusion
idea.
Super Saiyan
We have
Blue
no idea
goes-
what the multipliers are for like God modes.
God
But I
key.
will say if you go off of just feats, right? So like if you ever go to like reddit.com/r/who would win, you'll see a lot of these things like who would win, fucking this character versus this character. Really, all you have to go off of is like feats, what a character has actually
Yeah.
done. And if you've seen the Super Broly movie, Super Saiyan, even before he went blue, I think like Super Saiyan Gogeta in Super and Broly, they fucking like broke reality for a bit
Yeah.
and were like fighting in this
Yeah.
weird in between state. Like the feats that Gogeta showed in that movie outpace Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta by like a light year. Like it's insane.
Yeah. And this is, by the way, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta can hurt you by blinking, by the way. So, relative to what Super Saiyan Blue can do, Super Saiyan Blue is like way beyond that. Like,
Speaking of Super Gogeta, they never brought back that like magical rainbow move, right? During Janemba's movie.
Yeah, they did.
Well, Fusion
He did that to
yeah.
Broly at the like towards the very end.
That's right. They did bring that
Does
back.
that mean
You're right.
Fusion Reborn is technically canon too?
No, that's not
I
canon.
hope
It's just one of those things where it's like, because in all seriousness, that Super Broly movie is the only instance of canon Gogeta, because the
really
Fusion Reborn was never canon. GT definitely isn't canon now. If you might have considered it canon back in the day, but it's not now.
What about the cooler movies? Are those canon?
No. None of the Z movies are canon.
None of the movies.
Not a one.
Apparently.
Not a one. The
Like,
only ones
people-
the only one,
people
and at this
tried-
point,
Sorry.
even the Bardock TV special, the original one, is no longer canon. It was considered canon for a while, just by viewers,
Until
not
Broly.
anymore. The only thing you might be able to consider canon is the History of Trunks special, of like the original like movies and TV specials, but that's it.
Well, that's a good one.
You know what was funny? Everyone, because people loved Broly so much, they wanted to figure out a way on how to make it canon. And they're like, oh yeah, Broly definitely took place during that 7-day gap of like the Cell games, like the 7-day gap that Cell left. And like, I'm like, okay, listen here, man. If they were able to get together and beat Broly, Cell should not have been an issue,
Been that
because
hard,
with how much they had, with how big of a threat they made Broly, Cell is like nothing.
Well, even that, it would be so funny too, because like in that movie, like they all transfer their power to Goku so he can beat Broly, and it's like, why didn't they do that against Cell?
Why
didn't all of them just like, here, take the power, Goku, beat Cell?
Yeah.
That's just like not like, this is not a thing. This is not a thing.
They just wanted Broly to be canon so bad. I'll admit it, I did too, because I'm like, dude, Broly's freaking awesome.
Well, he is canon now, and he has a character other than Rage.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously I'm talking about that Broly before Super Broly.
That Broly again is as cool, and it was cool as the first movie was. That's like all the worst part about DBZ, because that's something that like I think a lot of people have misunderstandings when it comes to DBZ, because they think of like, shirtless men screaming with blonde hair, and it's like that is part of it, but like it's supposed to be goofy and fun and like silly and like have stuff to it. Like there's so much more to Dragon Ball besides just the shirtless men screaming. And it's a shame that there's a subset of fans that get obsessed with that stuff and they're like, Broly's the best, he'd kill everyone. It's like, it's not what Dragon Ball's about, you idiot.
I will admit, I think there was, at least for me, there was a certain like romantic that came out of me where I'm like, oh my god, another Saiyan, that's fucking awesome. Like that's what I wanted to see, No,
I get it, and like again, there's a Toriyama way to do that, and he did that in Super, so I'm happy.
Well, but didn't they first? Maybe I'm wrong. At least for America, didn't they first introduce Broly through Budokai 3? Wasn't that technically his first like?
No, the Broly movie came out before that.
Did it?
Well,
okay.
yeah. I mean, and again, Broly showed up in a lot of games. Like he was a secret character in sagas that you could unlock.
Okay.
Which came out before Budokai 3.
Yeah.
I still have your sagas.
Keep it.
I know it's on my shelf now.
Keep it as a reminder.
I still consider it yours, but it is on my shelf.
The game sucks so bad.
I remember I asked Mike, I was like going through my GameCube games, like, oh Mike, I got your sagas. You want it back? He says, not even like within like a second, just keep it. I was like, oh.
Listen, unless it's for our channel, I am never going to play that game again.
Me neither.
It is a bad fucking game.
I'll play for the channel. Fuck it.
All right.
I'll be down. I liked watching. I think I was with Oktar and we were watching.
Yeah, we watched
TFS.
TFS.
Yeah. I played it a bit at Mike's house. I don't know.
I beat the shit out of that game, dude. I beat it. I unlocked Bardock. I unlocked Broly. It sucks. It sucks. So bad.
That game sucks. Kamehameha wasn't even like a Kamehameha. It was just a key blast. I remember.
What
like
do you
would
remember
say
the
Kamehameha and everything?
But do you remember the worst part about that game? Time slowed down every time you did a super attack.
Yeah.
Every time. So you're sitting there playing this like co-op, right? And you're trying to attack people. Well, your buddy's charging up a Kamehameha, and now you and everything else is slowed down. Every time.
The game sucked.
It's so bad.
Oh, now I want to play for the channel.
God,
Now I
not-
need
also,
to.
Also, that game has the worst audio quality of any game I've ever played. It sounds like every sound is coming out of like a tin can. It's terrible.
Yep. It was really bad.
I recently put in my final bout. I don't know, man. That was pretty fucking rough sound.
Yeah, but that was a PlayStation 1 game, and a lot of
Yeah.
PlayStation 1 games had a rough sound. We're talking about like a
PlayStation 2.
GameCube, PlayStation 2 game that sounded just as bad, if not worse, than a PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I put in my final bout because I was just like, I don't remember too much of this, and I started playing it again. And I'm like, oh, I remember now.
Yeah, that game sucks too.
Oh,
That game
just started
sucks.
coming back.
That's so bad.
Oh my god. Oh,
Dragon Ball.
God.
Dragon Ball is in the Guinness Book of World Records for like the most amount of video games of any one franchise, and it really does have a lot of video games, and some of them are
does.
great. A lot of them are hot fucking garbage.
I'll tell you
Okay.
right now, the first like Legacy of Goku, kind of bad,
Yeah.
but Legacy of Goku 1 crawled, like you had mentioned before, so that Legacy of Goku 2 and Boost Fury could just
Those
freaking be
games are
some of the
great.
best games
They're
on the
so
Game
good.
on the
They're
Game Boy.
so good.
I'll be honest. I played a lot of the first Legacy of Goku. Never played the second one or the Boost.
wow.
Fury.
You
They're
played the
so much
worst
better than
one.
the first. They're so like if you liked the first, you would adore the next two
Yeah.
because they're so much better.
They're so much better.
I'll have to give that one a try now.
I do you remember in the first one where like when you wanted to fly, you had to get fly juice.
Yeah, I remember.
You needed fly
Fly
juice
juice.
in order to fly.
Oh, I'm gonna do it. Hold on. Hold on. I'm doing it.
Remember in Dragon Ball Z sagas where they played the same song over and over and over
Yeah,
again?
yeah, I remember. Straight in my fucking DNA.
There you go, Octar.
Oh man, that game looks so much more epic than what it really is.
I adored the first one a lot, and for a while that was actually my only we call it Game Boy Advance game I had until I bought Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland.
And dude, King Kai doesn't even teach you Kaioken or the Spirit Bomb. He teaches you the Kamehameha, and that's how they spell it, the Kamehameha.
I don't remember that. I'll be
It's because
honest.
it's Kame space Hame space Ha. It's not one word.
Why did they space it out?
I don't know.
Kamehameha.
No.
Yeah, the Kamehameha.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, that's crazy.
You learn the Kamehameha from King Kai, number 1. Number 2, you learn Solar Flare from just this random old dude. You learn the Solar Flare.
Know this? Not you, but the
Because
other dude.
I know that game. Because I thought that game was good. And then I played Legacy of Goku 2 and Boost Fury, and I was like, oh my god, I was a naive child.
Yeah, I only played the first one. That's the only one I ever did. Yeah. Damn. Now you're making. Fuck. All right, one day maybe. One day I might have to.
Maybe we
dabble
should
again.
maybe we should emulate those games at some point and
Yeah.
play them for
I'm
the
down.
channel.
Yeah, I'm down. They're
I have a
I like them, I
computer.
like them.
I bought a computer specifically for emulating. Like, it
Damn
can
right.
emulate PS3 games. So, we've
Wow.
got a lot of emulation power in our hands. And that computer is just meant for so like and it's got space and it's got the power. It got the power, you know.
You got the touch. Bam, bam. You got the power.
I feel like TFS played that in one of their
They did
abridged
the
episodes.
Bardock
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Bardock. And the Transformers movie.
Yeah, well, that's what
Oh,
it's from.
man.
It's from the Transformers movie, but
See, like, I always feel bad because like whenever I sing that, people immediately think of like Team 4-Star. My brain immediately has to go to Transformers because through summer camp, that's all we watched. Like whenever they wanted to watch a movie, it was the fucking trans, and I liked it. It was good, but Jesus Christ, the amount of times I watched that movie. More times than I wanted. It was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah, it was good, but fuck, man, after the fucking like 30th time, you're just like,
It's why I never want to watch the first Shrek ever again, because I told that story before about how I fell asleep with it playing over and over on my brother's laptop.
yeah.
I'm so fucking over that movie. Like it was a good movie at the time. I never want to see it again.
Dude, I'll be honest, I still fuck hard with the second Shrek. I like the second
It's
Shrek.
honestly, and I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I think it's better than the first one.
Yeah.
Shrek 2 is good.
The
shit.
second,
Shrek 2 is good.
dude,
shit.
the soundtrack and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, come on. Like, come on. I need a hero.
Yeah, that
fucking
one
Shrek
of the
was
best uses of that
man.
song, which has been used in like a million things, but
Yeah, but dude, that they made that song epic. Like, my god, good job. Which I still find funny because Shrek is just, what you got, DreamWorks' way to shit on Disney. That's all Shrek was just them
Good.
because they were all Disney staffs who got let go. And Farquaad is literally a play on for one of the Disney executives that let all the DreamWorks cast fired.
yeah,
So
and it's a
Shrek
not
is just
subtle
a
way of
for
saying
Disney.
fuckwad.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, so now y'all know Shrek is just a big like slap to
Yeah.
Disney.
It's a
all it
big
is.
middle finger. It's all it is.
Yep.
That's great.
And I root for it because fuck Disney. I hate Disney. Disney, you will hate me one day. You will hate me as much as I hate
You
you.
will know my name, and you will despise it.
Dude, I was talking to my mom. I know, a great way to start a conversation. I was talking to my mom. But she was asking me, she's like, what would you ever want to be remembered for? And I told her, I want to be remembered for the guy that hates Disney, and I want Disney to know it and hate me.
You gotta be careful, man. Disney's got fuck you money. They
Yeah.
can put a hit out.
If
on
they
you.
if they have the money to be like, if we want to kill you, we can, and we'll make it
cover
look like an
it up,
accident.
make it look like an accident.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll put this out there in the universe. It's on the podcast now. I want to make an IP so fucking good that Disney wants it, and they hate it. They hate how much they want it, but I won't give it to them. I won't fucking give it to them.
Have you ever seen? And you're gonna think of like the movie based on the video game, but it's not this one. But have you seen the movie Rampage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That's what Disney's gonna do to you. They're gonna send out one of their men to just like fucking shoot up a whole town, and then they're going to kill you and put you in the gear. So not only did Disney murder you, but they're gonna sully your entire name. So you're gonna come down as like the guy who just like killed the town.
Bring it, you fucking short mouth. No, it's just, I don't know, man. Disney, I don't like how I don't want to get on this speech, but I will. I don't know, man. Disney's business executives can go suck my ass. They don't give a shit about the world. They don't give a flying dick about you. They act like they do. I'm gonna say it. They act like they do with the whole like, oh, look at us, we're being fucking different with like trying to do this with other type of. They don't give a fucking shit. They just know, all right, these little shits give a lot of fuck about this. Cool, let's make a movie about it, make some money, make them happy.
It's all about the bottom
next
line.
IP.
It's just making money. It's what's the most marketable. It's where
Exactly.
Like,
they don't give a fuck.
Listen, if hating Jews was still marketable, Disney would still be all on board with the hating Jews thing. Like it's just all about what's making money.
Fucking Donald was so Hi Hitler. Like there is literally
but that
episodes of this shit.
was supposed to be tongue in cheek. Like that's
I know, but it's just I don't know, man. Just fucking. I don't know. Disney pisses me off. I really, really cannot. And it's a shame because I used to really like their movies back in the day, but now all I just see is fakeness.
They're
it's all it
different
is.
company now, though, too, and we're well. They're probably not like you were saying. They're still having the same type of business practices, but we're different. We're older. We've grown wiser.
Yeah.
They were probably
Well,
up to the same antics back then.
totally 100%.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Just Disney. Suck my ass, Disney.
Suck my
Suck it,
ass,
Mickey.
Disney. Well, boys, on that note,
Yeah.
we could talk
Yeah.
forever, but we should probably end this
Good.
sucker. It's been an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Bye.
You're right.
Bye.
All right. Hey, if you guys at home, if you're watching us live on Wednesdays at 7:30, or if you're watching later on YouTube, hey, thank you for watching. And if you want to actually come watch us live, come hang out with us on Twitch. We, like I stated before, it's Wednesdays at 7:30. And yeah, if you're listening on all of our different, sorry about that. If you're listening on all of our different platforms, thank you so much. We really do actually appreciate it. We do like getting on here and doing this show. It's fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun for us to kind of talk. So yeah, and hey, while you're here on our YouTube channel, why don't you go and look at some other stuff that's not going to be around me, but I'm doing it. Go look at some stuff. We got some skits to like music to Let's Plays. A lot of good stuff on there. Just something for everybody.
Yeah,
so.
check it out now before we do the rebrand, so you can say you were there beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You could be one of the originals.
Yeah, one of the OGs.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, and yeah, without further ado, hey guys, the bar's closed, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
What?